Welcome into another edition of the Coaches Show with the head football coach of North Carolina A&T, Sean Gibbs. I'm Donald Ware, play-by-play voice for the North Carolina A&T Aggies. Up next, look, it's the greatest homecoming on earth week, and the Aggies are preparing for South Carolina State on Saturday at Truist Stadium. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. We're coming on with the pregame show at 12:30. This week, we're on SiriusXM Channel 383. TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, of course, anywhere around the world, and locally in Greensboro and the Triad at 103.5 FM and 1400 AM. Boy, a tough loss for the Aggies on Saturday on the road at William & Mary. And, of course, Sean Gibbs, the head football coach, joining us here on the program. What's going on, Coach Gibbs?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. 38-34, that was really a tough one. Your thoughts on the game?
Really frustrated. I felt like the guys played good enough to win. We just weren't able to close out at the end. We didn't finish. We had a chance to win the game, 2 chances to win the game, and things didn't go our way. But nonetheless, I'm proud of the way the guys fought. I challenged them to come out and start faster, and they did that. We just weren't able to finish the game on our terms.
Back-to-back weeks in terms of losses within 7 points, within a score, with an opportunity perhaps to win the football game, and I know that's frustrating. Do you feel like, you're seeing improvement in this team over the course of now 6 football games?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of improvement, not only on the field, but in our attitude, in our effort, in the way we approach practice. There's been a lot of growth in this team, and I'm encouraged by that. But we got to find a way to win some games. We've been close, but, we don't care about being close. So I got to do something, figure out how to get these guys to close out games, stay focused. When we do get a lead on somebody, put a foot on their neck and finish them off. And if we do happen to get behind, to keep fighting and finishing, we got to put all that together and one. And I think we're getting there. It's just frustrating that we haven't gotten there to this point.
Really the last couple of weeks on third downs, that's a big stat. I know you don't like to get into a lot of third downs, but look, you've been converting a lot. 8 third down conversions in each of the last 2 games, including the 9-minute drive, which could have won the game. You converted multiple third downs. But I'll talk about the third downs later. Take us through that last drive, 9 minutes. You get it on the goal line, couldn't punch it in.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to do. I looked up when we got the ball. It was 11 minutes left. I said, let's go on an 11-minute drive and score and win this game. But, it was a really good job by the offense. But, when we get down there, we got to finish, and we got to put them in a position to finish. Coach Broadway used to always tell us in critical situations, think players, not plays. So that's what we got to do. We got to make sure we get the ball in the hands of our best players in critical situations and give them an opportunity to win the game.
Can you speak to getting out quickly? It really dominated the first quarter and to a lot of degree the first half, quite frankly. But can you kind of speak to that? It was the first time this year you had a lead, really to start the game.
Yeah, I think it was our approach. We had a great week of practice, so we went in there with real confidence that we were going to be able to play with those guys. And frankly, I don't think William & Mary understood that they were in for a game. I thought they probably thought it was going to be a cakewalk. And before they knew it, they had a fight on their hands, and we were able to jump out on them. So it was just good that the guys met the challenge and understand that's the type of effort and intensity and focus we got to play with every week.
They responded coming back, meaning William & Mary tied the game at 7, but you responded again to go ahead 14-7, and ultimately 17-7, had a couple of 10-point leads there. Speak to that drive specifically after it was tied at 7 and you came right back and scored, took the lead.
Well, when you play a good program like William & Mary, they're going to fight back. They're going to make plays. Coach London has a national championship, so it's a championship program over there. So we knew those guys weren't going to lay down. But we just had to make sure that we responded, and I was super proud of the way the guys went down and answered, because that's what it's about. If you get a chance to knock somebody out, of course you want to knock them out. But most of the time when you're playing a good team, it's going to go back and forth. So there's going to be times where you have to respond, and I think we did that by being efficient. You talked about third down. We were almost 50% on third down, and that's good in anybody's league. So if we just continue to improve, and Kevin continues to play at the clip he's playing at and even get better than he is now, then I think we can continue to be effective offensively.
While we're on the third down piece, can you kind of expound on that, the success that you've had the last couple of weeks, but then conversely, from a defensive perspective, you've been holding teams. Like, William and Mary was 2 of 8 on third down conversions.
Right. Yeah, some of the stats, when you look at them, you're like, man, how did we lose that game? But, that's something that we focus on situationally throughout the week, and we've done that since I've been here, being good on third down, trying to be efficient in the red zone. We work on hard times. That's, coming out offensively or defensively, trying to pin them down there. That was a situation that we've worked on that we did not perform like we've practiced. We punted the ball, and they had the ball on the 2-yard line, and they went 98 yards on 2 plays. And it was really just – I don't want to take anything away from anybody we played, William and Mary or anybody, but it was all us. The first play, defensive line is not communicating with each other. Defensive end has his eyes in the backfield. So when the guy pulls, he doesn't understand that he needs to spill it. So he boxed it, created a crease. Dude went, 50, 60, 70 yards. We walk him down. Then the next play, we got our eyes in the backfield. We don't see the tight end, and they score. So that's 2 plays right there that if we just do the little things, we win the game. And that, that's something that we rehearse all the time, those situations. So just because we rehearse it doesn't mean it's working. So obviously I have to do a better job of emphasizing those things and making them understand the situation and how important it is to keep guys pinned when you got them on the 2 so that we can play the field position game.
Yeah, why do you – because, you think about it, it was really a dominating first half, and really part of that, I think, in terms of the score and having the lead, because there was a lack of explosive plays from William and Mary's end. Once they started getting the explosive plays, that's when it kind of unraveled. Why was it like that in the second half in this game in terms of the Tribe finally getting some explosive plays?
Us not doing the little things that we were doing in the first half. But, the first play of the game was almost an explosive play. But we had a young freshman defensive lineman, Sadiq, who came into camp as a walk-on offensive lineman. He's starting at defensive tackle for us right now. But he just hustled to the ball and saved us. If he wasn't there to make that play, that would have been a touchdown. That would have been explosive. So explosives have to do with a number of things. You're not running to the football. We're not aligned properly. We don't have our eyes in the right spot. Our first step is so much stuff that's leading to those explosive plays. So we got to get the little things fixed. Everybody wants to look at the macro, and that's the big plays. I'm looking at the micro. What was your first step? Why weren't you aligned here? Where were your eyes? That's what's leading to all these big plays. So we got to get the little stuff fixed. And once we do that, then we can play a whole lot better defense.
Yeah, I forgot that play. You're right. He did. I mean, that would have been a much bigger play. Is there a turning point? Can you point to something in the game where it started to turn more in favor of William and Mary?
Yeah, that long run when we had them on the 2. That took some life out of us. I think if we would have pinned them right there, that would have really put the pressure on them. And, we let them off the hook, and they were able to score. And I think that's what gave them the confidence that they can win. I don't think our men ever lost belief in that they were going to win. But I think that play right there gave William and Mary the confidence that they could come back.
157 yards rushing, much better in terms of the of course, you as the running back coach guru, I'll defer to you, but in terms of the numbers, much better than the previous week. And Wesley Graves, who's going to join us a little bit later on, Almost had 100 yards rushing, had a couple of touchdowns. Just your thoughts on the run game against William & Mary.
Better, but not up to the standard. Our standard is 200 yards rushing as a team a game. And, a good game, Wesley need to get over the 100-yard mark. 90-something is pretty good. But, again, that's like we talked about earlier, close. We ain't playing horseshoes. We need to get that 100 yards. We need to get the 200 yards total because that means you're dominating on the ground. But, with all that said, I'm still super proud of the way these guys compete, and they have gotten better. We've had injuries on the offensive line as well, and we're losing guys during the week. So you have to throw some guys in there, but guys are responding and able to perform. We just got to make sure we're performing at an even higher level than we are right now.
As mentioned, still to come here on the Coaches Show, running back Wesley Graves, also defensive back Tyler Howard. 2 takeaways in the game, both involving the freshman Tyler Howard, an interception, then a forced fumble. He had the big play last week on the 3rd down against Maine that enabled you to get the ball back, almost had a chance to try to go down, tie, or win the game. Talk about how Tyler Howard is playing and how he's progressing this season.
Well, he's playing good, but he's a youngster now. Yeah. He's fresh off the prom. So for him to be out there and being able to make plays in crucial situations, like Maine last week, that was a crucial situation. He stepped up, made a play for us. And then that pick was big, and he forced, a big fumble that, gave us some life. But, he's a freshman, so he's still got a lot of stuff to work on. He's got so much room for growth. And, I'm super proud of what he's done. And I think if he can just continue to keep getting better and make sure he's listening to Coach McCray and gets under his wing, the best is yet to come for Tyler. He'll be somebody we talk about around here for years.
Up next for the Aggies, South Carolina State, as we transition into South Carolina State, what's sort of the preparation going to be like? I know it remains the same, but what are maybe some of the things specifically that you work on this week?
Well, we want to try to keep things as similar to what we've done in the past as possible. This week can be a huge distraction for our football team. So we have to understand that homecoming is not for us, it's for the alums, the students, and the community. We have to do what we've been doing. I think the only thing we'll add is we'll make sure that we hit some more situations that might come up during the game, that we're prepared for those, and we have a plan for those. And we have a plan to get the ball to certain people in certain places and certain times. But everything else will kind of remain similar.
As mentioned, South Carolina State defeated Savannah State 49-6 last Saturday. Your thoughts on the South Carolina State program as a whole in that victory over Savannah State?
Well, that was their homecoming, and they picked Savannah State. We get good old South Carolina State for our homecoming. So, it's going to be fun. It's good football program, historically. A lot of great players, a lot of great coaches have come through their program, and now they're led by Coach Berry, who's one of the best coaches in black college football and FCS football. They got good coordinators, good players. It's going to be a good challenge. We know that they're going to come in, they're going to be prepared. Personally, we've been competing against Coach Berry since our days in the SIAC, and he's had a good football team for a long time now, no matter what school he's at. So we know what we're going to get from them, and they've got good players. So I feel like we got some pretty good players too. So I just want to get these guys ready to go and get them focused on the game and going out and competing at the level that they can.
And then your thoughts on the quarterback, Ryan Stubblefield? He's put up some pretty good numbers this year.
Yeah, he's one of their typical quarterbacks. He does a good job of, running the offense, but he can beat you with his feet. And, I think he had like 80 yards rushing against Savannah. So, we got to do a good job of playing team defense, not allowing him to kill us with his feet, keeping the ball in front of us and limiting explosive plays. But, he's a good player.
And then Michael Luntz, 6 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. And he wears number 11 for South Carolina State. How do you go about trying to stop him?
No offense to him. He's a good player. I'm worried about Zero. That's the one. The one everybody looks and they say, who's that little short guy out there? He's one of the best players in the country. Last year, I think he had the highest PFF grade of any defensive lineman in the country on any level. Now, he's a good player. 11, he's a transfer, really good athlete. He's kind of similar to the kid, number 12, that we just played against, William and Mary. So, he's going to be a handful, but Zero is the guy. So they have two guys that are really good players up. They have a bunch of guys that can play up there, but we got to have a plan for Zero because he's a game wrecker.
And then you did touch on Chennis Berry a little bit again, going back to your days at Fort Valley State, his days at Benedict. Just can you maybe talk a little bit more about that and maybe some of the things that Coach Berry brings, brings to the table?
Culture. I think people just throw that word around like it's just a catchphrase and it don't mean anything, but the guys that I have a lot of respect for in this profession that I know personally, like Coach Berry and Coach Oliver, they've established a strong culture at the schools that they're at. And that's what Coach Berry was able to do at Benedict, and then the transition to South Carolina State was really seamless. And now he's got more resources than he had at Benedict at South Carolina State. So he's going to continue building that culture. But he's a culture guy. He's also a really strong X and O coach. Jonathan Williams, the offensive coordinator, is one of the brightest young minds in FCS football, and I've known him for a long time. He was down at Grambling when we were leaving, and he was coming to Grambling. So Jonathan's a sharp guy, and then Coach Oderfer on the defense. Like, they've had one of the best defenses in the country for a number of years. So they're going to be well coached. They're going to have a good culture. They got good players. It's going to be fun.
All right, Coach Gibbs, any last words?
Again, I just want to thank everybody for coming out to William and Mary this weekend. I want to wish everybody a happy homecoming, and I look forward to seeing everybody out there 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Give it up, Sean Gibbs, the head football coach of the Aggies, joining us here on the Coaches Show. Up next, running back Wesley Graves and defensive back Tyler Howard. We're back here on the Coaches Show, the greatest homecoming on earth. It is that week, and the next opponent are the South Carolina State Bulldogs. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff at Truist Stadium, of course. And, of course, Coach Gibbs joined us in the last segment. The young man who joins us next, sitting next to me, is no stranger to our Coaches Show. Wesley Graves, graduate student. He's from Danville. 5 touchdowns on the season. He had 25 carries, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns in the loss to William & Mary's. He joins us here on the Coaches Show. Welcome back. What's going on, Wesley?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Your thoughts, man, on the game against William & Mary?
I think we played a good game, but we got to come back and we got to make sure that we finish. So,
for you, most carries this year, 25, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns a game. Just how did you feel out there and really toting the rock? That's way more carries than you've gotten in any game this season.
Yeah. I try not to really look at that. I'm just going out there trying to win. But the coaches entrusted me to give me the ball that much. So I try to make plays when they come to me.
How healthy are you this year? I know you had been banged up the last couple of years. Seem to be really, really healthy enough to be able to get the 25 carries in this game.
Yeah, I feel good. This probably the healthiest I've been in probably 2 years. 2 years ago, I broke my hand, and last year, I had a surgery. So I'm healthy.
How frustrating maybe the last couple of years, knowing that you just had to be out for the season, couldn't help the team when the team, could have definitely used it, particularly with what you bring to the table, bruising back guys, not really trying to tackle you. You can get outside, run inside. I mean, how frustrating was that?
It was very frustrating, all the work you put in the off season and, all of that, and then it being taken away within, a play. It's rough, but, that's where the faith come in. So,
describe your running style. What's your running style like?
I feel like I'm a back that can do everything.
Okay.
I can run between the tackles. I can run you over. I can make you miss. So I try to do a little bit of everything.
What about catching the ball out of the back? Is that something you'd like to do a little bit more? You've done that, but I'm saying a little bit more.
Yeah. I can catch out the backfield. I got good hands. So.
And then in terms of being here, because this is your 5th year in the program, but really blocking, how has your blocking improved?
It's gotten better. I just had to learn, certain techniques and, hand placement, those type of things. But each day I'm trying to get better. Still working on it. So
It's the week of homecoming. This is your fifth one. You've been through this 5 times. What are some of the things you kind of tell the guys in terms of focusing on the opponent, in this instance, South Carolina State?
just stay focused. Understand your alignment and your assignment and what you got to do to execute. You know what I'm saying? So basically just staying focused and keep the main thing the main thing.
Any early thoughts on the Bulldogs? Played them last year. You've played them a couple of times throughout the course of your time here at A&T.
I didn't play them last year.
That's right. You were out.
I was hurt, but they're a good football team and they play hard and they get to the football. So,
how sort of for you, as one of the leaders on the team, have been with the program now for 5 years? Can you kind of speak to how you lead, especially some of the younger guys or some of the newer guys that are in the program?
I don't really say too much. I just go out there and I try to show, what you need to be doing in practice, how you need to be practicing. Because I feel like if they see me loafing, then that's going to give them an excuse to loaf. And we don't need that. We're trying to elevate.
Again, as I mentioned, graduate student. What's your major and what do you hope to do with that when your playing days are over?
I'm in grad school right now for adult education, so trying to look into being a teacher, some way of giving back and changing lives.
And then how did you end up here? I know you were sharing this, but how did you end up here at A&T?
Out of high school, I didn't have any offers, and Coach Gibbs gave me a call, one of the only coaches that reached out to me, and told me that they had an opportunity for me.
And, of course, we're glad you're here at A&T. I mean, when you think back on that, was that, especially with the numbers you put up during your time in Danville, were you surprised? Was that disappointing that you didn't have more offers?
It was rough. I was questioning a lot of things, what I could have did, differently. But everything happened for a reason, and I don't question what God got for me.
All right, give it up for Wesley Graves, running back for the Aggies as he joins us here on the Coaches Show. Again, greatest homecoming on earth. The football game is taking place on Saturday. It's a 1 p.m. kickoff, and we're coming on again with the pregame show at 12:30. And so I want you to join that. And then don't forget about the Blue and Gold postgame show, which, of course, can be watched on the A&T Athletics Facebook page, as well as YouTube page, as well as Tobacco Road Sports Radio Facebook and YouTube pages. Well, the next young man that's joining us, boy, he's really continued to progress, had a really good couple of last weeks. Tyler Howard joining us here, plays defensive back for the Aggies, and he's with us here on the Coaches Show. What's going on?
What's going on, man?
For you, big play. I got to talk about the big play. 2 big plays.
Yes, sir.
And when you look at the last couple of weeks, 3 really big plays. But let's start with the interception. Tell us what you saw.
I mean, when they were telling us all week, single receiver, solid, press bell, so go ahead, do what I was taught during the week, and the play is going to be made. So, when the opportunity presents itself, just make the play.
Yeah, and you certainly did that. And then the forced fumble, you talk about that?
The players, when the ball is going around, just run to the ball like we were taught during practice as well. The players hold them up for me so I can go ahead and hit the ball out.
Let me take you back to last week. It was a huge play, really, 3rd down for Maine. You made some other plays, but the one I'm talking about is Maine's last possession, which forced the punt to set up A&T for that last drive. You jumped that ball. Speak to that. What did you see there?
Just staying in that situation, just staying cool, calm, and collective, just knowing what I could have done. And the play came, and I just doing what I can do, and I do the most. Making the play.
Were you thinking interception there?
I was.
I saw that. So what? But Coach Gibbs said the right play was to knock it down, right? So kind of speak to that. Where you, in terms of thinking interception, but knowing that you in fact helped the team a lot because A&T got the ball back.
Me being a ball, I would call myself a ball. I really wanted to pick that. Wanted to go to the house, but me driving the play came. They didn't catch the ball, forcing the punt. I feel like I did a great job either way.
Yeah, no question about it. True freshman, and you're getting on the field. I mean, this is it has been, and this year is no different in terms of a talented defensive backfield, and you're getting a lot of playing time on the field. Kind of speak to that and how you've grown over these 6 games, and now really been able to show what you can do.
I mean, just practicing well, doing what I can, just letting the opportunity present itself, like I said before. Not really rushing the moment, but once it comes, make the best of it.
For you, how did you end up here at A&T from Tallahassee? You played at Lincoln, I believe you mentioned. Very good program there in Tallahassee. How did you end up here at A&T?
One of the defensive back coaches, Coach Lance, he reached out to my dad's friend, and they were talking to each other. He was like, I'm a dog. Coach Lance, he checked out my film. He reached out to me and then gave me an official visit, came up here, felt like home, and I was like, yeah, that's where I wanted to be.
Now, for you, did you have any other offers?
No, sir.
Okay.
I had no other offers.
All right, and so tell us your major. You have an interesting major,
Animal
one that
science.
fits A&T, though.
Yeah, animal science.
Yeah, so tell us what you want to do with that when your football playing days are over.
I wanted to I like big cats, like tigers and stuff like that. So I mean, once I get out of college and stuff like that, I wanted to be around those type of animals, teach other people about them, because people will see like big cats and stuff like that and just want to run, like, oh, they're finna get me and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
like they animals, they need love too. I mean, just know about them, just learn about them. I feel like it'll be interesting to do.
That should be you. So you're good with the tigers and the lions and all. You'll be good with that.
Animals, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, all right. Very good. Film, the preparation for you in terms of film study as a freshman. Kind of talk about that and just your preparation in terms of studying film each week and how that's progressed.
It's very different, really different. Like, so most of it, different personnels and different stuff like that. I have to really read the field, really read what they're in instead of just like playing the play, just like in high school, just like a little set play. Now we're just looking at the personnel, seeing like what they're in. We have to really know what we're in, really know what they're doing to play my game.
And then sort of last thought, the difference between what you were doing a year ago in terms of playing at Lincoln in Tallahassee to now playing Division I college football, and can you kind of speak to that? You're on a much higher level now, but excelling.
I mean, you can repeat that one more time.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of last year, you were playing at Lincoln high school ball, but now excelling at the Division I level here at A&T. I mean, how do you kind of, just some of the differences in terms of the level playing bigger football?
I mean, everyone's in college for a reason. So, I mean, it's better talent all around. The atmosphere is way better. It's a bigger band, one of the best bands here. I mean, a great alumni as well. So, I mean, a whole bunch of energy, way better energy than I would say back home.
Very good. Give it up for Tyler Howard, defensive back for the North Carolina A&T Aggies, joining us here on the Coaches Show. That's about going to wrap it up. No Coaches Show on next week because it's a bye week on next week. But again, if you have tickets, are lucky enough to have tickets, we'll see you at Truist Stadium. If not, you can check out the game. We're coming on with the pregame show at 12:30. SiriusXM Channel 83 this week, TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com, and in Greensboro and the Triad, 103.5 FM and 1400 AM. We'll talk with you in 2 weeks.